just trying to survive and learn to love along the way. By Foreplay on AO3. Episode 80, Chapter 80 of Media and a Meeting. The car ride is a silent affair. Shota's students in the back look like the last thing they want to do is talk, while Sashi looks close to crushing the steering wheel in his white, knuckled grips. As soon as they park near the courthouse, Izuku makes to move from the car. Hold on for a second. Shouta turns in his seat as he speaks. Todoroki looks remarkably stone-faced, considering most of the pressure is on him for the trial. Meanwhile, Izuku and Kirishima look like wrecks. He's not sure how they're going to make it through this. After you have your turn on the stand, you'll be brought to a different room. He takes a breath to continue, and Izuku cuts in, so that we don't discuss it with each other. Shouta nods. They don't want you talking about it before everyone else goes on the stand. He waits until he receives 3 nods to continue. You do have the option to sit in the courthouse after you testify, but I have the feeling none of you want to. I'll be in the new room, and Sashi will be in the courtroom, just in case. The kids looked relieved at having a safe person available to them. Just remember what we went over with Suzuki-sami, and try to stay calm. Another set of nods, and they leave the car. There's already a fair amount of people here for the trial, so they had to park a bit away from the courthouse. The moment they round the corner, the group as a whole freezes. It's a fucking circus out here. There's a couple of news stations posted out at front, harassing people as they try to get inside. No cameras are allowed in the courthouse, but they sometimes allow a reporter or two, since this is a public trial. A few stations manage to get permission. Unfortunately, outside of the courthouse is free reign. They have to walk through the nightmare to get inside, so they adjust themselves a little. Shota's in the front of the group. His general disposition is usually enough to keep the media away. Sashi walks at the back of the group, keeping the kids between them just in case. Being an underground hero, Shouta isn't very recognizable. Top that with the fact that he's wearing a suit today, nobody bats an eye at him. It's different for his students. They all did well during their sports festival, which is a highly publicized event. Their brightly colored hair makes them immediately recognizable, and the media tries to jump all over that. One look from Shota's glare puts a decent stop to it, but there are still some half-hearted questions thrown their way. Nobody blocks their way, though, and that is good enough for Shouta. After checking in at the front, they're led to the room they have to wait in, and Sashi says his goodbyes. There's still another hour before the trial starts, but it's enough time for them to get over a few things with their lawyers, who's waiting just inside the room. Hawks is also present, having a hushed discussion with Sasami-san at the table. Ah, welcome. How are we feeling today? The lawyer receives no response, and her smile falters a little. That's to be expected. Why don't you all take a seat? She recovers quickly, and the group moves to the table at once. Shouta finds himself in the middle, with Kirishima on one side and his son on the other. Todoroki seats himself on Izuku's other side, and Hawks takes the end next to him. Suzuki-san is left on her own across from them, though she doesn't seem to mind. I'm sure Eraserhead and Hawks know this already, but I'd like to go over it again for the kids' sake. She looks to Shouta, waiting for his nod to continue. We're not just up against Endeavor, we're up against the Hero Commission. I'm gonna be honest here, the commission is terrible and needs to be replaced. Shouta looks to Hawks. He looks tense, but doesn't disagree. For somebody the commission thinks they're in control of, he has a lot of obvious distaste for them. They'll probably ask stuff we didn't go over. They'll find a way to bring up sensitive information. So if it gets too personal for you, just look to me and I'll put a stop to it. Shouta is hopeful for that, but knows that may not be the case. The commission has a way of bringing that sort of information up, while keeping things related to the case. He hates to admit it, but the commission has damn good lawyers. The good news is, this is a trial by judge and jury. Nobody who's on jury, so there's absolutely no chance that there could have been bribing. And our judge is one of the better ones, known for actually looking at the facts rather than the political playout. Looks like Hawk's connections really played off. The hero had been more than happy to help them, and Shouta knows he put a lot of effort into this. He also knows that it's his job on the line. Hawks had mentioned it in passing, and Shouta can tell how nervous he is about it. He knows better than to bring it up, though. It should be a huge worry, considering Hawks runs his own agency, but Shouta also knows that most of the funding for that comes from the commission. He did, however, bring it up to Nezu. The principal said that he'd be more than happy to employ the hero at UA. There is an open hero course position that needs to be filled. All Might's position. Just make sure you speak clearly and never go back on what you said, because that is how the commission will trick you. Shouta tunes back in as her lawyer stands and packs her things. I've got to go into the courtroom. Eraserhead, a guard will come escort you when it's time. Suzume leaves and takes her nose with her. Shouta is relieved that he gets to go first. He requested it, but he wasn't sure if the Hero Commission would agree. But he'd done it in hopes that he could be there for the kids afterwards. There's a sharp rap on the door, and a guard peels in his head. Let's go, Eraserhead. The Hero Commission doesn't ask Shouta any unnecessary questions. They listen to his story, ask a few clarifying questions, and send him on his way. Normally that would be a good thing, but he knows that they're saving the worst of it for their kids. They'll twist what his students say, and make it impossible for them to follow. Then they'll have no choice but to agree with what the commission is saying. Hopefully Suzume-san will put a stop to it. She's been pretty effective so far, and Shouta will just have to hope that it'll be enough to charge Endeavor with something, and get him away from hero work. Shouta wishes he could be in there with them, but he knows that he'll be needed afterwards. At least they'll have Sasashi's support in the room. He walks by their old room on the way to the new one, in hopes of spotting the kids who will go in first. A guard is escorting Kirishima. Oh my god, they're going for Kirishima first? That is mean! That is mean! Out of the three, I think Kirishima is the one that probably is... At least at the event that happened, the, what's it called? The big, provisional license thing that happened. Like, he's the one that was the most affected by it in the moment, right? He had a whole panic attack, and panic attacks can actually warp what you think of and what you perceive is happening. So they might play into that, and I'm so scared, and I'm gonna cry. I'm not joking, I really hate court cases. Criminal court cases can be so fucked up, especially the lawyers. And the fight, the way they twist your words, it's sick, it's twisted, but it is what it is. And so chapter 81 is called Of Trial and Error. Eijirou's turn on the stand is going alright, until it's the Hero Commission's turn to question him. Fuck! I knew it was gonna happen! Okay, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds, have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and social are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.